Hi, my lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. Some of the best adventures are the ones you don't plan at all. My friend spontaneously asked me if I wanted to go to Mount Gambier to explore its beautiful lakes, caves, and natural scenery. And of course, I was up for it. I barely had a time to prepare, so we ended up doing my makeup in the car while we were driving. That's how spontaneous the trip really was. We had no strict itinerary. We simply stopped wherever something caught our attention. First stop was to get some coffee in a local cafe. Then we stopped at local farmers' shack to buy some fresh honey. After that, we came across this beautiful pine forest and just had to stop. The forest was incredibly serene. There were tall pine trees everywhere. The smell of air was amazing and everything felt so peaceful. We sat quietly among the trees, enjoyed nature, and even ended up doing a little meditation. And of course, I filmed a few videos because the scenery was too beautiful not to capture. We stayed there for around half an hour to an hour, completely present in the moment. Later, we found some wild berries growing along the road, so naturally, we stopped to pick a few because then we realized we needed to speed up because we wanted to reach our accommodation before sunset. And it was so hard for my friend to drag me out of here because I was just enjoying the moment. And honestly, the sunset on the way to Mount Gambier was absolutely magical. The sky was glowing with warm orange and saffron colors, and even the clouds looked as though they had been painted. Just look at that beautiful glow. The entire sky felt peaceful, warm, and almost unreal. I absolutely love it. By the time we arrived, we were starving, so we ended up stopping at the local restaurant, which were famous for pizzas, and we ordered pizzas and fries. Next day, we started our Mount Gambier adventure, and our first stop was famous Blue Lake. Look at the color of water, absolutely breathtaking. Then, after lake views, we visited a nearby garden and filmed few beautiful clips. Then it was time for the ocean. The beach looked almost untouched, and I felt as though we had the entire shoreline to ourselves. And obviously, I was very happy. That was my happy dance. I could not resist to getting into the water for a swim. I felt so refreshing and freezing. We both sat in the water for about half an hour and we were just talking about life. After that, we explored some of the natural caves and sinkholes that Mount Gambier is famous for. The surroundings were lush, peaceful, and incredibly beautiful. There were quite a few visitors, but we still really enjoyed walking around, taking everything in. Next thing, we climbed up to Centenary Tower. From the height, we could see panoramic views stretching across Mount Gambier and the surrounding countryside. It was extremely windy up there, but the scenery made the climb completely worth it. We stayed there for about 20 minutes. Then we visited the Engelbert Cave and joined a guided underground tour. We walked down beneath the city and saw the amazingly clear underground water. The cave felt cool, quiet, and peaceful. We also saw some animal remains from animals that had fallen into the cave many years ago. Surprisingly, there were no unpleasant smell at all. It was fascinating to experience this hidden underground world and learn more about the geology and history of the area. After all that exploring, we were tired but not hungry, so we stopped at a lovely local cafe for a warm cup of coffee before beginning our journey home. Along the way, we saw so many wind turbines stretching across the landscape. We kept wondering how much electricity all of them must be producing. A lot, I guess. Look at those giant things, and they all were working. And instead of driving straight home, we decided to continuing our journey along the Great Ocean Road. The coastal scenery was spectacular. The water looked beautiful, and eventually we reached the famous 12 Apostles. What an incredible view! Standing there and looking out over those enormous limestone formations rising from the ocean was the perfect way to finish our road trip. But apparently, I still hadn't had enough of water. After reaching home, I found myself missing the beach, so I came to Werribee South Beach with my friend. I loved walking on the sand. I loved connecting to the nature. We both walked on the beach and talked about life. And that was the end of our spontaneous little adventure, filled with forests, sunsets, lakes, caves, beaches, beautiful views, and memories that I always will treasure. Sometimes the trips you don't plan become the ones you remember the most. And this one indeed was one of those. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment. I will see you again.